Exactly 2 months ago, I was going through a biggest change in my recent times, and I've been going through a lot of change in the past couple of years. But 2 months ago, I wrapped up a big chapter in my life and moved to live with my family. Me, like listening to the recording of what I'm about to share makes me really reflect where I was and like this, just like appreciate the strength and all the lessons that I share in this episode. Made me really also reflect on like I was hoping that this will be the best outcome, that me moving will result in really good outcomes, and now I'm in the now kind of confirming that to my past self. Anna, everything worked out for the best, and like keep believing in that. So the next part of the episode is about the lessons and also just like the state and everything that has helped me through a pretty tough time. And that is the result of me going through a lot of tough times and learning from them and learning how to support myself. And that's just my reflection on all of that I decided to capture on the last day in my apartment in Melbourne.
Like with anything in life, there is an infinite number of things that are healing to us. 111 Ways to Heal podcast is about that. Enjoy.
Oh, I got to turn off my lights and just be in the dark in my empty apartment, and it's so special. Also criminally late, especially when I'm going to yoga in the morning tomorrow. But sometimes there are moments where you feel like a bit unkind to your body, but I also feel so excited to have my final yoga session, and also excited to do all the things I needed to do tonight, and including this. I really want to get it all out before I have a dive into my new life. When else do you have a chance to really reflect on it out loud? And I have been doing that in my journal, and this is not going to be like a journal entry sort of speaking out loud sort of session. I evolve and I grow, and this podcast eventually will be molded into what I really envision it to be. At this stage, I'm still finding it, but I would like to sort of like look at lessons that I've learned in the last couple of weeks and really just unpack them for a bit. And the biggest one that like is popping up in my life almost daily at the moment is, if something unexpected is happening, check your attitude, because most of the times it's actually because something even greater is just around the corner. So don't be upset if something is not going your way. I have so many examples. I've been moving and I've been doing so much. I've just been doing so much to just be an adult and like handle my life. And there were many moments when things weren't going my way, but something incredibly better was at the end. It's really surreal. Like I was meant to pass on all of my furniture and like, pantry stuff to this lady who would take my apartment. Like my lease would be ending, but she would start her lease here. And on the week when I was waiting for her to tell me that she has signed the contract and, she's expressed a lot of interest and applied, she ghosted me. So without any sort of expectation to be ghosted from a person, I found myself with an apartment full of furniture a week out from moving, maybe like 2 weeks out. And I really was just shocked, and I tried my best to stay in gratitude, and my gratitude practices daily really help me with it. And it's been a roller coaster because it's like, you try to just move on and not think about it too much, but also it's really been like teaching me just to sort of observe the situation and just start acting on what's next. I started obviously selling my furniture, like organizing things. And in the process of doing all of that, in the process of selling or giving away my furniture or like other belongings for free to people in my building, like I did a cute house sale and marketplace sales, and seeing the joy on people's faces of receiving something for free, or like finding something they really needed, but they forgot they needed it and now they found it and they're really happy. I, in those moments, was first of all holding my tears for dear life. And second of all, I was really, really then reflecting on, okay, this is making me so much happier. Like in terms of experiences and energy exchange, I probably would still appreciate not being ghosted. But as a whole experience, wow, like first of all, I got to walk myself through being ghosted. And it wasn't the only thing that I was actually like, another person ghosted me literally in the same week. So that was really cool, because as a parallel, like maybe nothing really happened like in that situation in terms of a better situation came out of it, but at least I got an example from universe of like, hey, kind of relax, like things still work out and better. The moment when I realized the things like this whole situation worked out for better for me is when this young lady was getting some things for free for me from marketplace, and then I saw that she came to pick it up with her mom, and I immediately just thought of just inviting them into my place and be like, hey, just look through my stuff, like take whatever you want. And she was legit going through every pantry, like crevice and shelf. I was taking stuff and I was so happy. And her mom, like the way her face lit up when she saw saffron from Iran that was gifted to me and I never used because I just never ended up liking saffron. And the way she was excited, she told me 4 or 5 times that she was so grateful. That's when I was like, okay, this is worth it. Like the whole roller coaster is worth it. I just made someone's day. They did not expect it. Cost me absolutely nothing. It was a gift to me that I just couldn't appreciate, and I could really gift it to someone who really appreciates. And especially like it's for her puja, and it was really special. And then many moments like this happened, and that's like gift that makes me tear up. There are multiple times throughout this whole process that I've cried, but honestly there were tears of like sadness that I'm leaving the place I love, the city I love, the people I love, and the joy of just this energy exchange with people, the kindness, and realizing people are not so bad. Going through like the whole stressful process of moving, I'm also changing jobs, and I am facing like other life lessons at the moment that dive deep into my like bloody wounds that I thought I have worked through, and having like uncovering more layers of it. Gosh, thank you like past me for taking all the steps to heal, or like taking all the steps to learn how to support my nervous system, how to take a hand of my child self and walk me through these experiences. There were moments last week particularly when I was borderline in the panic attack. That's when I just quit my job. Like I submitted a resignation. I was ghosted. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what I'm doing, and it felt like all too much, and I felt like my inner child literally crumbling. And being able to take her hand, let her cry, hold herself, like myself, to cry and like let it out, and then just pick up and go and continue living in alignment and with gratitude and just like positive attitude. And I feel like that wave of positive attitude and wave of gratitude has carried me all the way through. Now that I'm sitting in the empty apartment, everything's sorted, and honestly wasn't that hard, but I feel like I've made it not hard for myself, and therefore was open for connections, or inviting people into my own home, or letting, a stranger who's asking for my number on Marketplace to call me instead of like have a text conversation, because it's just English is not their first language, which resulted in so much help from the person. I even have pastries now ready for my breakfast tomorrow, just because I've helped someone out and they helped me out, and it was just an awesome energy exchange again. I never thought I'd be in this position. I never thought I would first of all live in an apartment by myself in the middle of a city, even though it was like my childhood dream. And now I am moving out of this apartment, finishing this beautiful chapter in my life, and I'm doing it with such grace. Like, I genuinely do want to recognize my own journey towards being able to move through stressful times with gratitude, with positive attitude, and gratitude is the only attitude. And I'm so excited to say goodbyes to like baristas that I have enjoyed talking to, and like just saying pleasantries to people just because they are like amazing. And that I attribute to like a journey that I've been making, and all the steps I've been taking to even feel comfortable with doing that, and feel comfortable with myself doing that, or feel comfortable to call my friends and be like, hey, I am really struggling. This is so stressful and I need someone to hold space for me. And be brave enough to reach out first and ask for someone to make that space for me. That's like another thing and another lesson that I've been really taking in the last couple of weeks, is like saying yes to kindness from strangers. Sometimes it's a bit easier because like one-off kindness, like yeah, sure, but like when you have friends that offer kindness, space, support to you, and the first initial reaction is like, oh my god, I feel like I'm taking too much, but still they're offering it, like they want to be there. I want to be there for my friends, so naturally my friends want to be there for me, and like accepting it. Crazy. I feel like I've grown so much. I feel like it's okay. I mean, maybe it's not okay to like talk about this on episodes like this, like, on podcasts, but maybe I should just be like the brave example of it. But like, I think we should be praising ourselves more. Like, I was catching myself being really negative about like how much I have not done at work before I'm going on leave, which I'm on leave now. Because like, oh, I could do this, that, and maybe like I could do more with my move, I could have done something like this. And I now, like, speaking about all the lessons or how I'm feeling about my move, I feel like I have done so much to feel like to be here, right? And I should be praising myself for that. I should be like celebrating it. It's okay, it's normal, because it's like I do see multiplicity in all of us, and especially in myself. And the little Nastya, who is young, very impressionable and very curious and very sensitive, has really struggled through this time. And I can genuinely look into myself and give that praise for holding on strong and trusting the other adult parts in me who have been walking myself through these experiences, supporting myself. So I feel like I should celebrate it more. I feel like we all should be celebrating ourselves more. Self-deprecating humor and statements that like let you down a little bit in front of others so others can feel more comfortable about themselves should be old age stuff. I feel like we should be praising ourselves more, because then that implants that sort of talk amongst people. What else have I been learning? It's so funny. It's a crazy time in my life, because like I've I'm moving, but in the middle of that, I decided to take a huge action and leap towards the dream of my life, to like in terms of career, and change my career as a result. And opportunities, as soon as I made space for that, as soon as I was like, okay, that's it, I'm actually gonna quit my job, I started seeing opportunities that were like perfectly aligning with that. And even if I don't get that, like I trust that now that I'm on that path of going towards my dream, doing camps for children in Australia, I will do that one day, and my path towards it is going to lead me towards it. So like might as well enjoy it, and might as well, accept any outcomes with gratitude, and knowing on the example of moving my apartments, something better going to be waiting for me. So have full trust for that. Another funny thing is like all at the same time, somehow I self-inflicted a beautiful lesson or like beautiful opportunity to review the cycle in my life and to dive deeper into my father wound, which is so cool. I uncovered another layer of it, and I'm keen to unpack it in my therapy, but I also have been receiving so much guidance from universe. And like what I mean is like just some random videos popping up on my like YouTube suggested to watch a 30-minute therapy session of someone who has literally the same problem as I do. And reflecting on that, and like that's what I mean by like universe really guiding me in navigating this. And like, or like book chapter, the day after I would have some crazy realization, and the next day I would get a book chapter that would just like fully help me dive deeper into it. And again, I feel like that only happens when we take action and we start seeking, like to dive deeper, or at least like become curious about things. Again, like all happening at the same time as I'm moving to a place that gave me so much trauma in Australia. And I'm fully determined, in the like ominous positivity, determined that this time is going to be a beautiful way to rewrite my history there. And I know that it is, because like it's my choice to go there for the first time, and I am a different person. Like I'm a totally different person who has just girl bossed myself into this empty apartment with gratitude and love and beautiful connections. So of course I'm gonna have a good time, and I am so excited to be with my family. My new chapter is my family, and that's why I wanted to record this while I'm on my own, because I'm not gonna be living on my own. I am so like hyped, and also I have no idea what it's gonna be like to live with my mom, to live with my siblings, with my stepdad. But I know that also I can handle that. I can be open and curious about exploring things that might and probably will trigger me, because family is a beautiful teacher. But I feel like, again, for the first time in my life, I feel so ready and prepared to actually take on lessons, learn my lessons, go forward, do enough self-inquiry to learn something from things, rather than get stuck and continuously repeat loops of experiences or thought patterns. And for that, I'm grateful to Joe Dispenza, shout out, Edgar Tolle, and damn, so many people. But those two started that for me. All the books talk about the same stuff, but at least when we hear it enough and from different perspectives, different worldviews, that's when I feel like we can start making it your own. A month ago, I was numb watching all the movies and all the TV shows that I could watch in a day, and avoiding all of the responsibilities and all of the work. I knew that I've done daily gratitude before, and I know it changes your life. And it's like a a notion where you know that what you're going to do is going to change your life. Like, you know, going to the gym is going to change your life because you will become fitter, and you still don't do it. It's like same with gratitude, and it's easier, you know, like you just pick up your pen and you just write something. But doing that with the book, The Magic, the author has written the book The Secret, and I'm blanking on her name. But that just walked me through it, because that's a 28-day book and like a practice. So highly recommend. Obviously, it's been 2 months, and it's been 2 months, but it's funny because I actually got a beautiful resolution to this the next day after recording, because I had an IFS session with Tash, and I obviously wanted to dive deeper into ghosting, because I feel like universe always presents us something, and if it is disturbing you in some way, or it's like, you know, you can't, like it is just it's pulling some sort of emotion out of you, it's usually important to look into it and why, and what it's showing to you, and what is, because you're probably like ignoring something, and or like a part in you that is being hurt. So I wanted to go deeper into it in my parts work, and sure, like I thought it was my father wound, but it actually was a part in me that felt rejected by my parents altogether just after their divorce, and I had no idea how heavy it was for that part all these years not to be acknowledged and not to be supported and just left alone. And the feelings I felt during that session, oh my God. There was a moment where it was so heavy and hard for me to even handle the fact that I am regressing back into that state. Was so difficult as a 28-year-old at that time. And it was so hard for a child to hold all of that. And I felt like I couldn't do anything. And I was already standing in front of my parents. Like I called in their souls, so essences, to me to support me through that, and it didn't help. And Tash invited me to move the whole situation to somewhere else where it would be easier. And my essence immediately went into pre-birth. And the moment where I chose to have this experience, and I chose my parents to give me this experience, and to just feel super alone, and that hindered a part in me that was like really curious and shiny and loving. And I'm so grateful for the session, and I feel like it would not have happened without all the triggers. And that's why, like, you know, what I'm saying in this episode is all about, like, there is something in if something is not going according to plan, it's usually because there's something else waiting on the other end of it, and it's usually better. And I think this attitude has helped me to heal in a lot of moments. And I feel like I'm a very annoying person to hurt on purpose, because it's kind of impossible for me to not learn something out of it. And I feel like people don't intend that when they hurt you. But I also know that nobody hurts on purpose. I feel like it's usually unconscious parts in us. And usually, now that I've also have first-hand experience pre-birth memory in my session, I feel like we have contracts with souls and people who come into our life to trigger things, and come into our life to invoke something in us to come back to ourselves. And that, I feel like that's what happened to me in terms of the ghosting situation. And it's not a regular one as well. Like, I've been ghosted by people before, and I have felt I still hurt, but like, because it was all happening at the same time, and I do also feel like sometimes there's just situations that because this person has already been giving me a lot of lessons through other moments in my life, I was open to exploring it as a lesson rather than just being hurt. And I'm grateful that I did. And overall, while I'm doing this little insert from the future, everything worked out in terms of my worries about moving, living with family, finding work. I am going to work in a couple of hours, and I'm going to a beautiful workplace that is so aligned with where I want to go, and that really did come around so unexpectedly. So, Nastya, hold hope, hold positive attitude towards everything else, because everything works out in your favor at the timing when it is right for you and everyone else. Gosh, I'm so grateful that I've started doing this. Like, I am looking at the episodes I've released in Melbourne, and obviously I started in Melbourne, so I've released all of them in Melbourne so far. And I realize how grateful I am for creating this. I'm capturing some of the most incredible conversations with people I love. It's like one of those cases where I'm going to look back and be like, oh, thank you, past self. Like, thank you. I love that. I love doing that for myself. Because, I mean, these sort of episodes, or even like all of the episodes, is something for me to listen and reflect on, because it's been happening in my life, you know? But if it does resonate, or like if it does create ripples of like more thoughts about a topic or reflection for anyone else who listens, oh, wonderful. I'm so grateful for you to be here and listening. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm just becoming weird second by second. Thank you so much. Bye.
Please share this episode with your nearest and dearest. Give this a like and leave a review. All of these help us reach the right people who need some healing in their life. I hope this serves your healing process.